I request Mr. Nyers to take the floor, CEO of SAP Hungary, a company which uses digital solutions to enhance businesses.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really happy to be here in person, even though digitalization allows us to hold conferences online or in a hybrid mode, but still it's a different feeling to be there and talk to you in person. So I believe that digitalization is essential for businesses and the society in Europe. There's no question about that. The pandemic that we just had showed us, we experienced how digital technologies keep us running, keep states and businesses stay alive. I can't imagine what could have happened to us if we were not able to order online goods and services, right? And the entire world made huge steps in implementing those technologies. And as in the past, those countries which are a bit relatively less developed, they were able to make bigger steps. Just think about the dawn of mobile communication or digital contactless payments. Some countries like Hungary and other countries in Eastern Europe are even today a little bit more advanced than their Western European member states. And we compete better. And now it's rather China making this shortcut, who wants to lead the world in every aspect, and also trying to be the number one when it comes to innovation. China has all the companies it needs. Like think about the Alibaba group. It has a huge internal market that also serves as consumers for internal products and services, but also delivers the required labor force. And then there's the United States, which has always been there. US has a very strong single market. It has a very liberal economy and very strong, massive competition that prevails on that market. And no wonder that most companies who profited with this pandemic are also from the US and not necessarily from Europe. So what about Europe? Europe is relatively falling behind, unfortunately. I have to join the Secretary of State. Yeah, we are not doing so good. We react slowly. We have legislation that's often cumbersome. And I believe we need to stand and act together so that Europe not just remains or becomes competitive, but actually we should be the front runners as once we were, and yeah, be the innovator of the world. Now, in the center of that innovation, as was often mentioned, there's data, right? Data is now, we often call it as the new currency, or we compare it to oil, it's such an important resource, and we need to exploit that resource. We need to collect it, analyze it, and based on the outcome of that analysis, we need to make better decisions, improve products and services, and so on. And we need to demolish barriers that are standing in the way to exploit that data. It has to be done in a cost-effective way. So for companies, this is a must. It's not a nice to have that they can avoid. So it's not that if they digitalize their business processes, they become more competitive. No, if they do this, they will stay alive. If they don't, they will slowly but surely lose their market share and find themselves out of the market. Now, this also is true, however, to the public sector. So the public sector should also embrace digital technologies. That's, yeah, for the same reason, to serve the citizens better, to find improvement potentials, optimize processes. But the public sector also has a very important task, and that's education. Right? So without the proper education, digitalization won't happen. Why? So the term is a bit misleading. So when we talk about digitalization, we think this will happen automatically. So we put the money on the table and then it's done. And then we see that companies struggle. They don't know how to do this and want the state or somebody tell them how to do it and what to do. Nobody will tell. It's people who can tell it, who can come up with ideas, who can architect things and in the end realize it. Digitalization is actually extremely labor intensive and we need that labor force. So once we are there, we will have an increased transparency for us citizens, and with that transparency we can also look into our own life and ultimately make better decisions and also live better, hopefully. Now, to help and enable this in Europe, we need to have actually a common understanding how this data should be exploited, this important resource, how it should be used. We need to remove barriers, we need to implement proper legislation. Okay, this has been all said before, right? There's nothing new. What I want to add to this is that we have to do this quickly. So just look at what happened with this vaccination stories in Europe, right? First, Europe, no European company has actually yet developed a vaccine. So no wonder that Europe does not have access to vaccine in the required quantity. Then there's this European green pass on vaccination. Does it make any use after the pandemic? No, it should have been there a long time before. So we need to be much quicker so that we can adapt these new technologies. I mainly mean artificial intelligence and machine learning. Europe has really great potential. So and it's mainly due to the diversity, the diverse community we live in. We have fantastic companies, entrepreneurs, but we really need to help them and support them so that they can thrive and unlock their full potential. We at my company, we believe that individual countries, they can't do this alone. They can't be successful alone. If they act individually, I will go back to my example. In the end, they can't compete with China or US, and who will suffer? It will be us, employees, companies, and citizens of Europe. Again, like SAP developed an application or helped developing an application to track infections during the pandemic. This was only used in Germany in masses. It definitely helped in Germany a bit to stop spreading the virus, but it didn't help Germany to actually keep it away because nobody else used a similar solution. So the virus got in. And also the Green Pass. So Hungary was quick to react and introduce this Green Pass. It's all good, but does it help us to get the tourists back to our country? Not really, because it's a Hungarian solution purely. So we believe that only a united Europe, where we help and support each other, can help and improve people's life in the European Union. Thank you very much.